Hello, welcome back. I am coming to you from the completely unfinished living room of our new house. Yeah, there's gonna be a whole other video. It's just gonna be like kind of an empty house tour, and like plans for the place. But right now, since the lighting in here isn't absolute ass, I figured I would do a little book review because I really enjoyed it last time and I kind of wanted to do another one. So I went to the library and I picked out this book right here, which is What the Neighbors Saw by Melissa Edelman? Something like that. This book right here was a bit of a like murder mystery whodunit in like a rich neighborhood situation. So basically the main character and her family, she's married and she has a little kid, and then she's like pregnant and about to like have a baby, and then like throughout the book like she has the baby and all that kind of stuff. So this is about her and her family moving into this like really fancy rich neighborhood. She's a lawyer, and so is her husband, which is why they can like afford that. And they basically pick like the most run down house on this block, which is still like over $1 million. Honestly, really reminded me of what like the housing market these days is like. Trying to find this place. Like, when this place sold years ago, like decade ago, it was like $100K less than what we ended up having to pay for it. Housing prices are crazy, but that's besides the point. So they basically move into this like $1 million neighborhood. They get the house for a steal, compared to like all the other nice done up houses on the street. And then shortly after them moving in, a murder happens. It's the husband of like her neighbor from across the street. And the entire like time they're trying to figure out like who killed the husband. Was it someone in like the neighborhood? And it's all about like everyone has tea on everyone, and they're trying to like figure out who the killer is, but also unraveling all of the like hot mess that is like everybody's lives there. Overall, I'd say this book was like pretty good. Not my favorite. I like the long lead up. Like you don't find out what happens until like the last 20 pages. At the same time, it was a little too plain. Like, oh, okay, drama, but like not really. I just wanted more out of it. One thing that definitely got on my nerves about this book is the husband treats her like trash. I could never. He's like, oh, like you just had a baby and like you're fucking ugly and like, not a... I don't even have the words to explain, like, how angry that made me. And I'm like, why are you staying with him? Like, so, you are also a lawyer. You can go and get a job that'll pay you more than the job you took. Yes, she did step down so she can, like, spend more time with her family and raise her kids. And there's, like, this whole thing with her mom being a terrible mom, so she's like, I want to be a better mother to my children. Okay, I get that, but if your husband's treating you like ass, leave him, you know? And she's like struggling with like an eating disorder, and she's like trying to lose all the weight after just having this baby, and I'm like, ma'am, you literally just birthed a child. No one expects you to be like twig thin after that. Jeez. And she's like, I can only eat one meal a day. And I'm like, okay, first of all, I don't care. Second, triggering. Like, I have my own eating issues, so like reading that definitely wasn't the greatest thing. I feel like there should have been like a trigger warning somewhere in here, because that caught me off guard, and I was like, I don't like that. She's like, I can only eat lunch, because that'll be my one meal for the day. Like, please, enough. But then it like dives into her relationship like with the wife of the guy that died, and like them kind of becoming friends, and I don't know, the whole thing just was lacking. And I don't know if it's supposed to feel that way because people in like affluent neighborhoods and like really rich people try to keep things to themselves even though they like gossip. There's also like that air of mystery between them, like, oh, I don't want you to really know what's going on behind closed doors. But I don't know, I wanted a little bit more. I will say, I was not expecting, you end up finding out, like, she goes over to the wife of the deceased's house, and they end up spending a bunch of time, like, doing that, having lunch, just chatting and stuff. And she ends up, like, going through one of her cupboards, trying to, like, put something away, and then, like, didn't really realize that she was in the wrong one, but then she was like, whoa, gonna keep looking around, and then found DNA tests. And the absolute stretch that it was for her to go, DNA tests, oh my gosh, I wonder if her and her husband are, like, related. That is not the first thing that would go through my head. Yeah, she did say, she mentioned in their, like, family pictures, like, oh, they both kind of had, like, the same tilt to their smile and, like, the same creasing in their eyes. But, like, come on, it's a white-ass family. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be, like, I'm not trying to make it a race thing, but, like, how is that the first thing you thought of? The main character is black, by the way. Or, I don't know if she's black or just dark-skinned. It doesn't, I can't remember if it says specifically her ethnicity, but she makes reference to being, like, dark-skinned because her nanny is dark-skinned, and so she was like, oh, moving into this neighborhood, like, people are gonna think that I'm the nanny and, like, all that kind of stuff, because her husband is white. But, like, I guess in a way, her making that assumption is the same as me being like, oh, well, yeah, they're a white family, they're all kind of gonna look a little bit the same. But, like, we all look a little bit the same. I know, this is a very touchy subject. I'm making a very broad generality. But it's literally what she does in the book. So, I don't have no idea why that would be her first guess. Like, oh, they had the same kind of smile? I bet they're related. It turns out, I mean, they were. They're half-siblings, so, like, the dad is the dad of both of them, not the mom. But, like, why? Why did that have to be a thing? Basically, the husband, long story short, the husband was murdered by, okay, if you don't want any spoilers, click off now. But the husband was murdered by his wife because they found out that they were siblings, and he was absolutely disgusted. And she's like, man, we've been married for 20 years. Why the fuck does it matter now? We've already had, like, 3 whole kids. What's the point in, like, he wanted to tell his whole family and, like, get a divorce and all this stuff. Which, yes, I get, like, if you were to find that out, that's kind of gross. But, like, I also see her point where they've been together so long and, like, they already had kids. None of their kids have any issues. So, like, why make it a big deal? I don't know. It's a very touchy subject. Like, how do you even deal with that? Like, that's a lot to process. At the same time, she's like, he was gonna ruin us and, like, ruin us in the neighborhood, and I have standards to uphold, and I can't have people finding out that my husband is actually my half-brother. Like, okay, I get all of that, but did you really have to go and murder him? And, like, technically, she wasn't even the one that, like, murdered him. It gets messier. It ended up being the husband of the main character, who's now sleeping with the wife of the dead guy. Makes me want to never be rich. I feel like rich people have all these kind of problems, like, all the time. What the heck? Why is infidelity such a, like, big thing in these kinds of communities? Literally the entire neighborhood was just, like, sleeping with each other at one point. Like, this lady's husband is sleeping with this wife, and, like, this wife is sleeping with this husband. Why? It reminded me of high school drama. There was, like, a group in my high school that I'm pretty sure, just kind of passed around boyfriends at one point. It gave off those vibes. But like, and then, honestly, not gonna lie, I was kind of happy when this happened at the very end, but the main character ends up getting into a fight when she realizes that like her husband is the one that like killed the guy and is having an affair. And she had made points like throughout the book being like, ugh, I haven't like officially caught him of cheating, but like I wouldn't be surprised if he did. So like, why are you so mad that he did? You literally said like, I bet he would. Anyways, she finds out and then they're having this whole ass argument upstairs and he like tries to hit her and then she's like, oh my god, is he gonna kill me next? I mean, I could see why you would think that. So then, while they're like fighting and stuff, she like pushes him and basically pushes him through the front window. So he just plop onto the ground, dead. And it's like, cool. 2 murderers on one street both killed their husbands for being idiots. I can't stand people. Because it was like, reading the book, I was like, ugh, these all sound like such first world problems. Like there are more issues going on right now than like this. And yet, here you are arguing about the decor in your front foyer and that your husband had like 3 tequilas or whatever. And then they end up bonding like, haha, you're not gonna tell my secret, I'm not gonna tell your secret, we both killed our husbands, let's just keep living our lives. It just made me angry. There was like no closure. Overall, I enjoyed the read, but like, probably wouldn't read it again. I'd say this is maybe like a 2 out of 5 star book. I didn't hate it, but like, it was readable. If you want to know more details, I didn't even get into any of like the absolute mind-blowing drama of like the rest of the neighbors, because at one point there's like a sex worker who goes to like this old guy's house and then she runs across the street and is like, he was trying to kill me butt ass naked, to like the main character's house. And I'm like, what is going on? And of course he gets away with it because, you know, rich and old white male. But so yeah, there's a lot of little things that happen, and then at the very end it like recaps the affair of like the main character's husband with the wife of the guy that died. It'll go back to a couple scenes but like show what happened, and I'm like, oh, I guess that's kind of interesting. So like, that was cool. But yeah, overall it was okay, not my favorite, but hey, I will leave the rest up to you if you would like to give it a read. And I figured I'd share my thoughts on it because I had some thoughts. If you enjoyed this, give me a like, give me a subscribe. I feel like I haven't said that in a video in a while. I would appreciate it. I find this hobby quite enjoyable. But yeah, I now have to go return this book to the library because it is due today, even though I finished it like a week ago, but I be lazy and I put things off. I procrastinate, as you might say. So I gotta go. I also have to eat lunch and it's like 2 o'clock. But yeah, I will catch up with you guys later. Thank you for listening and peace out.